YTBC, what's the deal? Well, we know Carlos Takam versus Joseph Parker's happening. Good fight, May 21st. I can't wait for the fight. Excited about the fight. It'll probably be the last time, and for a while at least, that you're going to see Joseph Parker fight in New Zealand, especially if he wins this fight. Obviously, after this, they have to go to the UK or come over to the States for a big fight. But I'm trying to break down the style of both fighters. Well, I know the style of both fighters, but just breaking down what both of these guys can do to win this fight. And I've been looking at some Joseph Parker, been looking at some Carlos Takam, and again, and I encourage you guys that really don't know who Carlos Takam is, or if you maybe seen a clip of him being knocked out against Alexander Povetkin. If that's all you know of him, I really encourage you just to go on YouTube and just check out his fights. Even if you are rooting for Parker and you think he's going to win, at least check out Takam, because he is much more than just a plotter that comes forward, which I've heard some people say that they thought he was. He has very good inside skills. He knows how to work his left shoulder. He knows how to cover up and protect himself. He knows how to roll and dip under shots and come back with counter shots. He knows how to pivot really well on the inside. He can fight off his back foot. He has a good jab, and he can circle. The thing with Joseph Parker is I've only seen him fight downhill. I've only seen him come forward. I've never seen a back foot game. I've never seen him try to use his reach and try to fight you off his back foot, or just have you in the middle of the ring and just try to outbox you. It's either he's coming right down, he was coming right at you. He doesn't move his head enough for my liking. I like to see him move his head a little bit more, but he can keep his head in that one position when he's fighting downhill, and he really hasn't really seen much come back at him. Now, I know Bergman hit him with a few good left hands that looked like they buzzed him a little bit. What I mean by buzz, not hurt him, but just got his attention and made him more aware. But Carlos Takam has a lot quicker hands, in my opinion, than Bergman. He's a former Olympian too, so he has some pedigree behind him. 11-year pro. Again, I seen him struggle with a guy like Tony Gregory. And that was because of the foot movement and the mobility and the hand speed, and he was getting turned in that fight. Povetkin, you can see he obliged not to. he wanted no part of an outside fight with Takam. He was not interested in following him around. He wanted to fight, bam, right in the phone booth. And so that lets you know that a guy like Povetkin wanted nothing to do with a long range type of fight. Well, you can say Povetkin wants to get close in all of his fights, but for a guy like Takam, who some of you think is just a cheap journeyman, it says a lot for Povetkin not to want anything to do with a boxing match. He's going to show you different looks. He's going to move his head. He's going to jab you. He's going to give you feints, and he knows how to work his shoulders and get you off balance. He will go to his high guard sometimes and walk you down. That's if you're fighting that type of fight against him, like Tony Thompson. He will come forward, but he can go back. He can mix it up. With Parker, I've just seen him come forward. I haven't seen no infighting. Now, when he gets close, the thing with Parker is, well, I'm not gonna say I've never seen an infighting, because he likes to get close. He's a mid-range type of fighter. But I haven't seen anybody try to bully him or back him up or try to dog him out. It's usually him, and it's one-sided. So he likes to get off his work on the inside, but he's there to get hit on the inside also. He isn't a I haven't really seen him use his full repertoire as far as fighting inside, as far as catching, rolling, coming back with shots. It's usually him being close, and he's just letting shots go, and he's breaking the other guys down because he can hit hard. You know what I mean? The other guys, they're just getting broken down or they're moving away. Takam, he kind of lives and dies by that. Like he's going to be very comfortable fighting from that range with Parker. And he knows how to move his head. He knows how to slip shots, double up on hooks. I mean, his punch variation is going to be a lot different than anybody that Parker has faced. But Parker seems to have very good power, good pop in that right hand, and a good snapping left hook. But he keeps his head straight up. He keeps it straight up, a little bit too straight up for my liking. Doesn't really move it at all, really. I mean, really, he doesn't, and he's a 6'4", but he doesn't have a long, Lennox Lewis or even a Brian Jennings or Luis Ortiz reach advantage. And his jab, I like to see him mix it up a little bit and time it and feint his way in sometimes. Sometimes he leaves his jab out there a little bit too long for me. And I could tell with his jab sometimes he's trying to just feel you out to get the range so he can crash down with that right hand or that left hook. He's trying to get himself in position. Sometimes he'll just fall right in on you and start, letting shots go. But Takam's going to be prepared. He's experienced for all of that, man. But one good shot can put you out. But this is why I slightly favor Carlos Takam in this fight. If Parker wins, then hey, good for him. He's proved me wrong. He's not going to be the only heavyweight that's ever proved me wrong. And he's not going to be the last either. But I'm just favoring Takam because of the experience. I think he has a lot left in the tank. I think he has a good pedigree. And I've seen him be versatile in his fights. I haven't really seen Parker be versatile in his fights. I've seen him be a little bit more patient. He's not going to come and try to bum rush you. He will try to peck away and get his way inside and position himself. But he keeps his chin straight up in the air. I've seen him get caught with some good shots, mainly against Bergman, because he was just straight up in the air. He was in attack mode when he got hit. You're going to get hit, but you want to have that chin a little bit down. And I'm sure Barry's going to work on this with him, because if I see it, I'm sure they see it. You know what I mean? But it's going to be a good fight, man. And really, it's a toss-up, especially when both guys fight from close range, and then we're just putting our money on who's just going to catch who first. I mean, you have two strong men in there that's going to be letting shots rip. And sometimes Parker, in my opinion, can load up on shots. Not necessarily he winds all the way back to hit you a la, like an early George Foreman. He doesn't wind up to that degree, but you can tell he kind of, left, then a right, and then another uppercut, and then a hook. I mean, he punches like that. Takam looks like he punches a little bit more fluid, but I have seen Parker throw fluid combinations. But very interesting fight, man. Very interesting fight. If Parker, if he can't knock Takam out, man, this is going to be a very, very, very entertaining fight down the stretch. Especially if both guys get the tire a little bit, because Parker, he's going to be in a position he's never been in before. We have to take that in consideration. Especially if it goes around 10, round 11, round 12, and they have, who's to say how much stamina he's going to have left. You can probably say the same for Carlos Takam also. Parker's going to be fighting with a lot of emotion. He's going to be at home. It's going to be a good fight, man. Just wanted to get this video out there. I'm excited about this fight. Just excited about the prospect of just the different scenarios that can happen in this fight. But just getting this out there. YTBC. I'm out.